Hello. This is going to be a video about comparing three different character orientations in Fromm's Man for Himself to the having or being modes of love. And the character orientations I'm going to be comparing are the receptive orientation, the exploitative orientation, and the hoarding orientation. And before I talk about those three orientations and whether they would be more suited in having or being mode of love, I'm gonna give definitions to provide context. So the receptive orientation, in the receptive orientation, a person feels the source of all good to be outside and believes that the only way to get what he wants, or whatever it is to receive it from that outside source. And then the exploitative believes the source of all good to be outside as well. The difference between the two is that the exploitative type does not expect to receive things from others as gifts, but to take them away from others by force or cunning. And then finally, the hoarding orientation, which their security is based upon hoarding and saving, while spending is felt to be a threat. They surround themselves by a protective wall, and their main aim is to bring as much as possible into the fortified position and to let as little as possible out of it. So, in terms of all three, I think they would be more oriented to having the having modes of love, and wouldn't really fit with the being modes of love. So I'll start with the hoarding orientation first. Since they derive their security from possessing things in their wall, their love would be more about possession, which would be having mode love, and keeping that. You would be able to see that in a faithfulness towards different people, towards their lover, when in reality that faithfulness is basically just a way, it's the method that it used to keep them inside that wall, to keep possession of them. Then second is exploitative orientation. Now this is having mode, but it's different versus the hoarding orientation in reason. While the hoarding orientation needs possession to feel security, the exploitative orientation needs it to. It's kind of like a contest. Not really that. They're more oriented to like taking something instead of like hoarding inside. They feel attracted only to people who basically they can take away from somebody else and they don't have. And when they have them, they don't stay with them that long, because then again they feel that need to steal somebody else, and they've already squeezed that person dry. And then finally, there's the receptive orientation, and I think this would be more so. I don't think it would be very good being, because being is. I don't think they're as materialistic as the other two, but I think they'd be bad at being, because it's kind of has to be equal between both people. They both have to care for each other, help each other, and the receptive person is really sensitive when they're alone, and it's more about being loved instead of loving, because that person needs to receive, and they're not really good with giving. But I don't think it's as materialistic as the other two. Okay, well, that's my comparison of those three orientations to the having and being mode of love.